Hi everyone, I'm Nikita Yogi. Welcome back to this new series of video on befriending feelings. I've already been sharing write-ups on befriending all kinds of feelings, and these videos will be an extension of the same. So let's begin by saying that human beings largely, are so aloof and so afraid of their own feelings. We often hear people saying feelings are good for nothing, feelings drain you down, be practical, be rational, use your logic, be strong, etc. etc. But interestingly, feelings do not go anywhere. You may manage or temporarily cope with them or put them aside, but they keep coming back. And if they're not paid attention to for too long in life, they become toxic inside of us. Then they start driving our behaviors unconsciously. They also cause a lot of disease and ailments, and they may lead to depression. Now, the problem is we first need to understand the difference between feelings and affects or emotions. I repeat, we need to understand the difference between feelings and affect or emotions. According to Carl Jung, feeling is as much a rational function of our brain as thinking is. Our feelings tell us what is really of value to us. Now imagine all the decisions in life, that we make without giving enough attention to how we are feeling. And just in the run of being rational, logical, and practical, we completely negate the feeling function, which is so much available to us. Which brings the question, why are we not able to use the feeling function of our brain effectively? My understanding is that we are not able to use the feeling function to our advantage just because we have not learned to manage affect or emotions well. In our growing years, out of the 6 basic emotions, which is joy, anger, sadness, disgust, fear, surprise. I repeat, joy, anger, sadness, disgust, fear, surprise. 6 basic emotions. Out of the 6 basic emotions, only joy was given importance, acceptance, validation. Now look around and see everyone. All the time, everyone only wants to be happy and joyful. So what do we do with the other emotions? We suppress them. And that has not worked in our favor. Now, because of such huge amount of suppressed emotions that are already there inside of us, whenever a situation occurs and an emotion shows up, it shows up possibly with huge intensity because there's so much piled up. Yeah, say for example, you suppress too much anger inside of you and a situation occurs where you feel angry. The anger shows up with a lot of intensity because there is so much suppressed anger inside of you. So just an example. Now, because we fear the intensity of the emotions, we further negate it, we suppress it, and then this loop goes on. So how do we break this loop or this pattern? Is we need to understand what emotional intelligence really is. Now, when someone gets very angry or aggressive, out of proportion, or someone is crying, howling, very, very sad, depressed, what do we say? We say the person has gone emotional, which in simple words would mean that her thinking function is not available to her in that moment. And the affect or the emotion has overpowered. Emotional intelligence would really mean is developing a capacity to experience a certain emotion and in the same very moment apply one's thinking and feeling function of the brain to then deal with the context or the situation. Now, learning emotional intelligence would require a little bit of dissecting, of how this whole process happens. So say, for example, when a simulation occurs, something happens in the outside world, we call it a simulation. When a simulation occurs to us, we first experience sensation in the body. A lot of sensation comes up, and you might know, like if you're angry, I'm using the example of anger because that's the closest that people are able to experience and express most of the time. Yeah, so say for example a simulation occurred and the emotion of anger got triggered inside of you. What you first experience is sensations like, there'll be heat wave rushing through your body. There will be, the body will become tight. There will be tension in the body. These are some of the sensations which occur in the body. Now, these then accumulate and turn into signals in the nervous system telling the brain that either of the 6 emotions. So all the body sensations then turn into nervous system signals, and they go and tell the brain that either of the 6 emotion has come up. And then within 5 or 6 seconds, the brain processes it and activates the feeling function and the thinking function. So I've said it in a very simple layman's language so that we all understand. This 5 or 6 seconds that is available to us are very, very crucial. So this gap of 5 or 6 seconds is where either the emotion or the affect takes over and we react to the situation, or we watch, let the feeling function come alive and generate awareness, and then apply the thinking function and then maturely respond to the situation. Yeah, but it's just the gap of 5 or 6 seconds, and in scientific terms, there's a part of our brain called amygdala, which is responsible, which is a primitive brain basically, and which is responsible for managing emotions. So what happens is that if the affect or the emotion is very, very strong, the amygdala gets activated and then it hijacks, which possibly tells the nervous system signals are like, okay, there is danger, there's something wrong, and you need to protect yourself. And so the amygdala hijack happens, and then we end up reacting in a situation. So how do we learn to manage the amygdala hijack, or how do we learn to shift from being reactive in any situation to give a mature response really, and not negate the feeling function, and whereas include it in our decision making? How do we learn? It's quite a journey. It's quite a journey to develop our capacity to stay in this gap of 5 to 6 seconds, and we have to build the inner resilience that will help us hold our vulnerabilities. We all have had this experience of feeling a certain emotion very strongly inside of us and unwavering just stand there and watch it happen without taking any action, or we all have had those moments. One has to develop the capacity and the resilience of holding the vulnerabilities and being in the moment, and not becoming instantly reactive. And the first step in this journey is to learn to befriend whatever is happening to you and not reject. So not reject your emotions and not reject your feelings that are coming up for you. And this is what the video series is going to cover, and it's going to be all about. So stay tuned. See you again.